Let's get her going. It's Friday. Off the rails, baby, on the real Kyper and Bourne show. We're live on Sportsnet 360, 590 The Fan in Toronto, streaming always on Sportsnet Plus. Available Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and our wonderful followers on YouTube. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee, Jake the Snake Schultz, Derek Brandale. Did I get it all right, Sammy?
Perfect. You're flawless.
Everybody's here and accounted for?
You read it perfectly. I don't know who's up there, but you read it perfectly. That's for sure. You read it perfectly.
All right. Toronto Maple Leafs.
Speaking of off the rails.
What a week, boys.
Jeez, leave Florida with nothing but a sunburn, maybe. Somebody.
We suck.
Somebody.
I hope so. I hope they got some sun along the way.
They brought something back because they sure as heck didn't bring back any points.
No.
Tough first period. 3-0 lead before you could blink and settle in. Your initial thoughts on last night and that particular start where they were down 3-0, outshot 16-6, I think, and obviously outchanced by a wide margin.
Sam, did you tweet something last night like, yeah, but let's see how they look in morning skate tomorrow to see if they're officially...
That was halfway through the game against Tampa.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, stick a fork time. All right. We got our conclusion. They're done. It's a we said if they win 2 or 3. No.
I want to get into all of that, but
But they are who we thought they were.
I just want to get into
that
like,
show.
How can we explain that start?
You want to know if I think they quit.
I want to know why you think, because I love you for it too. Trust me, I'm not sticking anything in your face, but you had a belief that they could come back and show much better and put on a better show.
It was absolutely possible. Yeah.
So how do we explain as a group, not just necessarily you, because I'm going to take a crack at this.
No. I'm ready.
How can you come out and be that flat, that disinterested in a must-win game?
I don't know. I said I'm ready. I
respect that because I don't know either.
I'm ready to have the conversation about possible reasons why, but I don't know. That was lifeless. I mean, no passion, no connectedness,
Just
nothing good to say.
One word, Sammy, to you. Why?
It's been a popular one. Disconnected. Because there's a disconnect between what the front office wants from what the fans want, from what the coaching staff apparently wants, and what the players look like they want. Like, that to me just is a team that, regardless of what happened last night, if they had won that game or if they had to come out great, they know the season's over. They're checked out. The coaching staff is trying to coach them up to win. Like, hey, guys, just keep being desperate. We need you to work hard and be desperate. And they know it's over. And the only people that seemingly didn't know it was over until last night was the front office and coaching staff.
The only thing I'll say that maybe is a little different from that is, like, I don't see them not trying. Like,
first period is brutal.
I know it's a brutal period, but like I watched the whole 60 minutes and like it's not like Nick Robertson's not trying or Steven Lorentz isn't trying. I don't see Willie Nylander not trying.
But their trying looks different from other teams trying.
But
they're not. They don't look equal.
So where I'm going with it is they're worse. I don't think they're not trying. I think they're worse. I think they're that much worse than Florida. I think they're that much worse than Tampa. I think they're worse. I don't think it's like, hey, let's go out there and not care.
How did it go from Atlantic Division champions?
Part of that was
worse
murky.
Come on, please tell me.
Well,
are we talking about just one Mitch Marner?
No,
it's still there. They still got people in there that were at division champions.
I mean, first off, it hurts. The thing you mentioned hurts, but it doesn't hurt 30 points or whatever the difference is going to be. But part of last year was that nerds were being like, they're not as good as their 108 points. Everything went right. They got incredible goaltending, insane shooting percentage.
Honest to God, they got pretty incredible goaltending in the last 2 games. They did.
Yeah. I mean,
it's not like those guys fell off the face of the earth. They look kind of the same.
I looked today. They're 16th in the league in save percentage. They're dead average. Yeah. So they're not terrible to your point.
They're not terrible.
It's not like that's...
I'm dumbfounded.
They have 4 different players on the roster from last year. No Chris Tanev, no Marner. You know, like they already weren't great, and everything's kind of gone wrong this year. But still, last night, they're pretty healthy. Minus Tanev there, they kind of have what they were supposed to look like. It's a desperation game. Florida was 2 points behind them in the standings. And so, yeah, like I said, I don't know why it looked as bad as it does, but I just think it's almost lazy of us to say they're not trying. I just think they're not very good.
I don't think they're not trying, but I think it's human nature that when you're this far out of it and you're checked out and you're playing against a team that has historically owned you and they're playing harder than you.
They just had 3 weeks off.
Yeah, but
they like hockey, presumably.
They just know it's done. It's just, they're done.
I think Mike Johnson last night on the telecast said they think they look tired.
I know. He was trying to help.
Mike Johnson they also broke out the halfway through the first period, the UFA board. I'm like, oh boy.
Oh,
this is going to be a long game.
Yeah, they knew what was up.
Yeah.
They were trying.
I think it's very jarring to me or very concerning to me that going into last night, that is a team that is wholeheartedly trying to win. Like that thinks they are a team that has a chance to win.
Yeah, whether the individual players you're saying, but like the
organization is sending emails to their season ticket holders being like, and that's what you come out like?
Yeah, I mean, you could pick apart the letter, right, to the season ticket holders all day long, but like it wasn't crazy to think that if you could win 2 or 3 here.
No, it was crazy. It's
yeah,
crazy.
I know.
No, it's crazy. But this is the
exact 6 points. The optics of 6 points for anybody. Forget about your Leafs for a second.
They're dead last in every
category.
Forget about
the Leafs.
Forget about the Leafs. All year.
It's still 6 points.
Yep.
It's a good week, Sam, for any hockey club.
Yeah, you're 100% right.
Okay,
mathematically, they win.
I'm not talking about what you've witnessed every day.
Just me. The whole fan base.
I'm not saying what any Leaf fan witnessed.
Yeah.
What I'm just saying is that over the course of 50 years, somebody would look at 6 points in a difference with 25 games to go going, we're not out of it.
No, you win 2 or 3 games, now you're 4 points back. Do it again. You know, you were still in it.
So that's where
even though
that's where it came from.
Yeah.
But you can't even take back tomorrow night any type of we were in the games or we're right there or we got a bad break or we were all over them or what are you taking into Saturday night?
Yeah, I saw Myrtle thinks that they will need 99 points to get in based in the East, which is pretty crazy. Oh, I know.
In?
No. I'm just doing the math here. And so he said, I think that's 18-5. So the point is you're running out of even like being like math can do it. Like you can't even math your way there at some point.
All right, let's hear from the captain of the Toronto Maple Leafs on their start. This is Austin Matthews. Clip 1.
Slow start. I don't think we had the same level of urgency or detail that obviously they had. And, they got 3 there in the first. And I thought our second and third, we competed hard and played much better. But it's hard to dig yourself out of a hole against a team like that. That defends really hard. And obviously with their goaltending and stuff like that, you'd like to have more of a 60-minute effort there. But, I'd say our start was the issue tonight.
Okay, and then let's follow it up with the lack of desperation, I guess. We might as well hit them both for Matthews there.
I don't think concern's the right word. I just think we need more desperation, more fire, especially to start games. We know the position that we're in, and we need to be the more desperate team every single night. Like I said, I thought the start wasn't great, but our second and third period we competed, guys worked. We did a lot of good things, but we need to turn that into a full 60-minute effort.
You sure about that?
Concern's the right word.
I don't think concern's the right word. You're not concerned. It should be very high at the list of words you would use. I don't know. Did you get anything out of that word salad?
No. Listen, he's.
I don't think it means what you think it means.
It's always the same tone. There's no real. You're not getting any frustration or emotion out of him. This is the way he answers anything constantly. So there's nothing there, right? Other than just give an answer and move on.
Here's what a long summer is going to do for him. It's going to be good or bad? Maybe good. It's been hurt for the last couple of years.
Go ahead.
Yeah, as far as Austin's concerned, you just try to get him to the end of the season, and you're going to revisit that his situation, short term, long term. Mm-hmm. I think no different than Willie Nylander. And as far as I'm concerned, outside of those two guys, everybody should have a for sale sign on right now.
Did you happen to see my article today?
I did, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I did.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
I just think, with money, you don't necessarily know why you should be saving it, but you just know something's going to come up. And I feel like that with draft picks. They need to be acquiring whatever they can because you don't know what's going to come up. Could there be there's going to be someone available at some point you're going to want to spend it on. So just get what you can because this ain't it. Bringing back, I'm actually out on doing McMahon and Lawton extensions. They're going into their 30s. Healthy, it's not working here. They don't play Lawton anyway.
Listen, Lawton can come back, but let me get something for you, and then we'll bring you back in the summer. It's doable. Right. It's doable, and I believe that there would be a team out there that would give a third rounder if they weren't sure if they were going to sign him or not. And if they do get a crack at signing him, then it can move to a second, right?
So would you would allow him to speak to teams and say
100%?
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot of talk about OEL not wanting to go anywhere, but you don't have a complete no move. And I'm sorry, but you got to go too.
Yeah.
And if I honestly believed that there was a market for Morgan Riley, then he should be not dressing Saturday night, and he should be in the similar situation as Tyler Myers is in Vancouver. It's like, let's find you a place.
He could not be dressing on Saturday night for different reasons too.
Do you
listen, Sammy? It's so over on that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't
do what?
Don't make him now a scapegoat by not dressing him Saturday night because you think he tripped over himself or embarrassed himself or whatever the case is. The time to have made him a healthy scratch was long ago. The ship sailed so much. Let the guy leave with some dignity. At the end of the season, go into the summer, find him a place, and move on. But it's too late to make him a healthy scratch.
The ship sailed so far, it's gone around the world and it's back. It's right back to where it sailed.
And you know what?
It went on an intercontinental.
I felt for him falling and tripping. I did. And I know everybody's having a good laugh on it, and maybe because I've been in there a few times where, tripped and crashed into the boards or almost broke my neck, and it's not a great feeling. My first feeling is not to laugh at him; it's to go, "Oh my God, I must just feel awful right now for him."
Well, and it's all the hockey analysts, and I don't mean that about myself or whatever. I mean people who know hockey, who play hockey, and just watch hockey, have known that Morgan Riley's been struggling for quite a while. But that sort of incident brings the dummies in. The people who don't really know, but they can see this because you can. And I don't mean you, McKee.
Yeah,
by the way.
both of you guys are just subtweeting me on air.
No.
That was hilarious. No. I was sitting on my couch. I was laughing my ass off. I put a video out there. It went viral. Kipper's pissed about it, I can tell. And you're making fun of me.
No,
so
this has
call me a dummy.
This has nothing to do with you.
Sammy.
I'm saying that moment is the one that brings like my mom to me being like, Morgan Riley sure struggles, huh?
This is, again, you are within whatever right you have to laugh, do whatever you want.
Hilarious.
But I'm just telling you. I'm not saying that.
Yes.
I'm not saying that you can't laugh at it. I'm saying I won't. Okay. I can't.
And I'm saying I am going to laugh at it, but I feel bad because it brings in the people who it's going to get very loud for Morgan Riley now because everyone is on board that it's not going well.
Again, if between now and next Friday, if you can find anything in terms of a team willing to take a chance on him, I don't know whether or not they take the whole contract. If the Leafs are in a position to hold $2 million of it and turn it into a better asset in return, you got to do it. You got to do it. But I don't think it's out there right now.
I just think there's no way they do it. I just don't think they will.
Why? Tell me why. Because
I don't think they have
they
the
don't
stones.
have the stones.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think,
all right, well, listen, you may be right, but when I hear that, I want to throw up. Okay? I want to throw up. Do what's right for the team, not what's right for Morgan, Austin, Willie. Do what's right for the team.
Mm-hmm. I just think he has been, we talked about it. Everyone loves this guy. He's been a great Maple Leaf. It's at this sort of bad crossroads here. And I think in the summer, it'll be quieter. There's less noise around it all. He has the chance to, plan a move. I just don't think they'll do it to him. And I think to your point, that's not the way you think it should be done. I also think if you're Morgan, don't you want it? Don't you want to go play, You
don't want to end your career like this.
No, I mean, end your career. He's got 4 years left after this.
But he could be with the Marlies next year if he sticks around. That's ending your NHL career.
He's not that. He's not an AHLD. He's having a tough go as a number 1 D here.
You can't bring him back and be in last place. I'm sorry, but you can't.
No, I agree you can't bring him back, but I think they'll say, all right, this summer we'll find a place for him. We'll work with him.
Of course you can't. You have to. That's the attitude you have to have. Yeah. But you have to kind of be a little tough in terms of pull a Rutherford and tell him you're not dressing. Mm-hmm. Tyler, you got go home and think about it. That's what they told him out west. Go home and think about it.
And by all indications, they tried to have a similar conversation with him this offseason. That maybe they should have happened. They held on too long.
Yeah.
And it goes back to, once again, a lack of decisiveness.
Yeah.
Which seems to be a bit of a calling card here with this front office.
Yeah, we heard that might be a thing, right? At the time, the start of this whole thing is a lot of rumors, a lot of whatever, but not a lot of actual movement. So I said to you guys yesterday, you got to start yesterday. You got to, if you're going to make a lot of trades, and
I know, but
too many sellers.
It's not only that. You need a partner. You need someone to commit. You need someone to say, I'm in. Mm-hmm. If they're not comfortable with the prices, you can't just do it for the sake of doing it because you say now's the time to do it.
I agree with Morgan that you can't.
Yeah.
Right? There's no one out there being like, what our stretch run needs is the $7.5 million Morgan Riley. No one is saying that. I get it. But I do think that there are people saying Scott Laughton would be perfect for us.
Yes.
Brandon Carlo would be a great depth.
It'd be 6 or 8 teams guaranteed.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't turn Scott Laughton into a first rounder.
But
you
if
can
they
turn him into a prospect or a draft pick,
Maybe you can get Nikita Gravenkin for him. Straight up. If they trade...
That one doesn't keep me up at night.
No, probably not.
The first round pick might, but Gravenkin doesn't keep me up at night.
If they trade Scott Laughton this week, it'll be insane that he never once for a game was the second line winger. Didn't get a shift with Matthews, didn't get a shift with Tavares, Nylander, didn't get a look in any sort of impactful role. Just playing the fourth line with Lorentz, play 12 minutes.
Is it just, in your opinion, like Craig Berube deciding that he's not that guy?
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally that's it. And I don't know, they decided McMahon wasn't that guy and scratched him and then, kind of ran out of options and he forced his way out of that hole. But that's a baffling one for me when they've been looking for all these solutions and they just won't even try it. No one tried Willie at center. Mitch is playing center for Vegas. It's crazy.
There's a lot of things with the coaching staff this season that probably don't look great on the ledger, quite frankly. I mean, Cowan not playing either of these games.
Do you guys think that's the management or the coach?
Well, they're probably like, hey, we're trying to play these guys and showcase them or whatever. Maybe he's going to play after the deadline. Obviously, he's going to play after the deadline if they get rid of some guys. But coming out of a break, you can't get him in one of those 2 games. I don't know. It just felt bad to me.
Yeah.
Like every defensive metric, they're
I'd
at
have
half
him
play.
in every game.
Yes.
I don't care.
They're in
He can fall 5 times like Morgan did last night, and I'm not pulling him out of the lineup now.
You're going to tell me that you got 12 forwards and he's not one of the best 12? It's like
No,
it's-
and I don't
it's
think
crazy.
they even believe that. I
But
think
then-
to your point, I think it is like hey, maybe we can trade.
But are you trying to win or are you trying to showcase guys?
So maybe internally
what's going
they're
on?
aware they're not trying to win.
Okay.
Maybe that's just a whole.
Well, then tell us that. Because
Yeah.
every post-game press conference, it's a big 2 points. Oh, it's a big this. It's a big that. Like, I just have no idea what the plan is. So.
Should we hear from the coach a bit?
Yeah. We talked a lot about lack of urgency. Let's hear from the head coach on it. Clip 2.
Well, it is. It's like, same thing as, last night's game in Tampa. You need it for 60 minutes, especially now. We can't take any shifts off, and, it's my job to make sure that they have it.
Well, he got one thing right. It's his job.
Mm-hmm. He knows it. Like, I think he knows it's not going awesome.
You can't have. And listen, I mean, Craig and I got a history. We broke into the league together at the same time. I don't want to see the guy lose his job.
No.
But you got over 20 games to go. Anything remotely that looks like that first period, he can't last 20 plus games if it's going to look like that.
Oh my God! You think
You can't.
Hey, Kip, you're 6 weeks from the end of the season. You think they'd be active before that? You think that too? I think.
Well,
Oh no. Like
I've
you
thought
know
it
what? It's
5 different times.
no. You can't. It's too long.
Remember, was it
Too
torts
long.
in March
It's a
last
quarter of
year
the
for
season.
Philly? Yeah.
JB, it's a quarter of the season. Forget about standings. Forget about like you can't you can't allow it. It just breeds like bad culture if they're not responding to you. If it looks like they've quit on you, you can't have that for the next quarter of the season.
It says something about like what they've gone with past. We've talked about Tree and we've talked about Berube this year. And remember when we talked about like, could Tree be in trouble? We talked about earlier this year. I forget when it was. And you were like, who's going to take over? Brandon Pridham ready to be the GM? Is Shane Doan ready to be a GM? And we were all like, none of them are super established names around the NHL. I kind of feel like that, like Derek Lalonde is there. Like Lalonde would have to be it because it's not going to be Van Ryn. It's not going to be Sullivan.
And that's why you got Lalonde, is because at least he has a history. He was once upon a time a head coach. That's why you have a guy like that.
But they're going to go into this trade deadline, and I'm saying they need to make 7 moves or whatever, 6, 5.
There's no time. Tree Living's doing the trades.
Right. Okay. So he's doing the trades.
What you need to do now is think long and hard about what your management team needs to look like, what you want it to look like by the draft.
Okay.
That's the window.
That's fine. But if you're not sure about Tree, and I imagine the president or CEO is going to have make a decision on that at some point, Tree can't pick the coach, right? Because if it's not Tree, a new GM is going to want to pick his coach. So it has to be Lalonde.
Wow,
The whole thing made me gag.
Big old burp over there.
But there's been spit up for the last
This week has been spit up
48
radio.
hours has been
The last
spit up central.
A lot of
here.
people
games
spitting
we've
up in this
watched,
market.
Cale Makar shot one in the net, and I can't think of any other moments I enjoyed.
But I mean, this is a conversation for another day. But if there's going to be changes, like,
I think it's a good day to talk about it.
is it
Feels like the right day.
wholesale changes?
Does wholesale just mean Tree and Brad?
Yeah.
How could you sit here and go, no, I'm
Coaching,
putting the weight of my endorsement behind what we've seen?
All the coaches, right?
Mhm.
Everything.
I don't know about all of them. I don't know. I can't speak to any of them.
How do you have a new GM or a new coach and keep an assistant coach?
The one thing we've said for years was that everything happened out of sequence with Kyle and Lou and all the progression, people not getting to hire their people and fire. It just was very strange the order of, what you need to do is have a president. And then that president needs to pick a general manager. And that guy needs to pick a head coach. And that head coach needs to pick a staff.
So Brendan Shanahan should have been replaced.
Yes. Yeah. I just, it'd be interesting to talk to Pelly about his comfort level with being around every single day.
If you don't believe in Brendan Shanahan, at least have someone else as a springboard for tree living, right?
Yeah, just someone to talk with and be there and bounce things off. And I understand he has other management. But again, his management team is younger.
But the mere fact that we don't know who they are offhand.
Daryl Metcalf worked with me.
Nobody knows him. Nobody knows him. Nobody has any idea of who he is or what he's done his whole life. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way.
Yeah.
But like
he's been there for over a decade.
He holds no water in any of this.
I know.
According to the masses.
Yes.
So,
buddy, I get it.
Yeah. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. They're safe. Everybody around Tree can conceivably be safe because we've never heard of them. We don't know who they are.
It's funny that, you watch Gorton.
You're right. You're right. I have no idea. I watch and follow this team so closely.
You've never heard the name Daryl Metcalf.
I have.
Yeah, but we've heard of it, but
from your mouth.
What is it you do around here? Right?
I do here. Lots.
Were you the one suggesting a first round pick unprotected for the Boston Bruins? Who owns that?
Who owns that? Yeah.
What would you say?
I'm going to say it's not Daryl.
You do.
I'm not going to put that one on Daryl.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm in the minority here, but from people I talk to and my Leaf fan buddies and just the tone I get, not a lot of trust going on right now.
Again, I really like both of those guys, and I mean that with my whole heart. I think they seem like really nice, likable, kind people. But just what would you hang your hat on so far that has happened where you go,
listen,
here's what they've done with the Leafs. That's great.
There's lots of nice guys.
Yeah, totally.
You're
awesome.
Yeah.
Love
and
you.
Do you trust me to do anything good?
Absolutely
no,
not.
I suck. So
No.
just going in to this deadline where this whole fan base is who's been used to winning, and it's been 9 years of them winning and in the playoffs and exciting and deadline. It's a whole shifted mentality
I thought you were saying something different there.
No, it's a whole shifted mentality from, hey, we're going for it, to, hey, we got this rare opportunity to actually kind of restock the cupboards. And I think people there's sneakily more pressure, I would say, on the front office in this year than there has been in years where they've bought.
Yeah.
Because
people are excited for the sell.
And they look at their cap wages page, and they look at what their pick thing is, and they look what their prospect pool is. There's huge pressure on this.
Mm-hmm.
Huge.
Go back to the beginning of this season on our shows. I didn't have them winning the Atlantic, but I certainly had them very comfortably in the playoffs.
I pick them to win the cup every year. So,
but they're coming off an Atlantic division. There was talk that they're a better team built for the playoffs.
That was the sell. That was the sell.
It was
you definitely said you got to get there first.
I was worried. I didn't think it would be this bad. I got to be honest with you. I didn't think it was going to be this bad. But I was.
Last. No one thought they'd be dead last.
But not
dead last.
Not this. Not from Atlantic Division champions to this.
Mm-hmm.
And
are they last?
Leaf fans.
Yeah, they're last.
They want someone to pay for this.
And, I said in my article today about why they should sell. I believe I used the term oversell us. Just err on the side of selling too many people, because all these teams that just passed them in the last year, they've been bad for years, and all their picks and prospects are just young and realized now. Ottawa's not getting worse. Those young guys are getting better. Montreal is going to be awesome. Detroit has found their way through. Buffalo finally took a step.
Ottawa is the one of those that I would push back on.
Sure, that's fine.
Yeah,
but and I get that. But the other three, Montreal, Buffalo, and Detroit, are better.
They zoomed straight past Leafs.
Tampa Bay is obviously better.
Yep.
Florida's going to reload this offseason. Which one of you would pick Toronto ahead of Florida next season, end of year standings? Neither. Okay. The only one I'm not sure about is Boston. I think Boston kind of sneaky sucks.
Everything they do right now, the biggest question is, like, can you save next year?
Totally.
But
Kip, I would
that's where
rather
you're at now.
I would
can
rather
they make the playoffs next year?
I would rather oversell and miss the playoffs next year because long term you're better off. And I think it's more likely they miss than make. So that's why you err on the side of selling. It's more likely they miss than make next year as we sit here today.
Do you think this market would, if they just had signs that it was turning this year and next year, will be okay to miss the playoffs?
I think so. I think if you're sitting here and you're holding,
I think it's easy to say now.
If you're holding,
I think that's a bitter pill to swallow.
5 or 6 second and third round picks.
Yeah.
You know, you've got some capital to spend. You still have the guys who are good on the ice to, you know, and as the season goes on, Quinn Hughes becomes available and maybe Adam Fox becomes available.
To do it the right way, I think in the short history of this salary cap, 20 plus years, it is really the only way.
Yeah. By the way, I didn't mean they would acquire Quinn Hughes. I'm saying good players become available every year.
I look at Boston and people are like, oh, do the Boston thing and miss the playoffs and then come back. And I'm not still sure on Boston.
No, Boston's not.
Wow, but they had a huge win over Columbus last night and probably are going to make the playoffs, which a lot of Leaf fans would kill for.
It's still a little unique for Boston because they look like they're going to be in a position where they can challenge for a playoff spot, probably make it this year. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out and still get a top 10 pick.
But they also sold good players last year, right? Like Carlo was a much higher valued guy. Brad Marchand was that. Charlie Coyle was they had guys to sell. And then this year they're getting great goaltending and their decor is good. But again, I don't think they're cut.
32 minutes in our show, Leaf Hour edition, and we've solved nothing.
How are we 32 minutes in? What just happened?
We should probably break. Got a few calls.
Sammy, it's Friday. We got a Leaf line.
We do. We got a few calls.
How many?
I don't know. A few.
Are they happy?
No.
Sad?
Just sour.
Oh, sour.
It's been a bad week, bro.
Okay.
It's been a bad week. We all need the weekend.
Sammy Sours. When we return to Real Kyper and Bourne after these words. Welcome back to the Real Kyper and Bourne Show. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, our very own Sammy McKee. Remind me not to trip in front of you, Sammy.
God forbid I have some levity in a week. Sorry, Riley. You had to eat that one, bud. Sorry, Mo.
I just want to tell you 100%. I never saw what you sent last night.
Yeah.
I had no idea that you went viral.
Lots of people saw it.
Okay.
Let's just say
I didn't.
250,000 of my best friends saw it.
What do you have for us, Sammy? And the little.
I forgot about this.
What do we got?
Where do we want to go first?
Leaf line collars.
Can I just shout out? You told me that someone left us a long one that was very good, but we just couldn't play it. So
Forget his
shout out
name.
to that guy for the effort, but apparently
Yeah, it was like 4.5 minutes of
4.5.
Any key points?
straight passion. It was a lot of. Let's just say it's reflective of the tone
Okay.
of this week.
All right.
Let's go Don from Simcoe to start.
Love the show. And I would like to suggest and get your thoughts, especially Kyper, on maybe getting an advisory gentleman like Rob Blake to take over the position that Shanahan had to help advise Kelly on future moves with the team. I'll hang up now and have a great weekend. Go Leafs, go.
Go Leafs, go.
Where's Blake right now?
Retired.
Okay.
Right. And he had his run with LA. I don't know how many years in total it ended up being, but he had some significant time there.
Mm-hmm.
Again, those guys are a little tricky sometimes too. And there's no question. I believe he put his heart and soul into the LA Kings, but Blakey doesn't need another job.
No.
He's got more money than God. I don't know.
Very well off.
I don't know how motivated he would be. I think he's an excellent hockey guy, but you also have to do your homework. We know Hall of Famers. We know what they've done on the ice. We know their accomplishments. But when you talk about taking Hall of Famers off the ice and putting them into a boardroom, and you got to really do your homework. You got to really understand what you're getting, where their strengths and weaknesses are, where they succeeded, where Blakey was able to make the LA Kings better, where he made them worse, right?
You know,
I mean, you got to really do your homework. You can't just sign a hockey card.
Mm-hmm. It's fascinating thinking about, the guys who've had a ton of success as general managers in the league. I'm looking at Julien Brisebois, who he played a bit, right? But he's not some superstar who made $1 zillion. He had to prove himself in management, was probably pretty driven by that. Bill Zito was an agent, if I'm not mistaken, before. I think it's not super common to be like, Wayne Gretzky's going to be the best coach, or guys who are great at hockey are not necessarily great at this other thing. I do think he's the type of guy well-suited to a president role where you're a guy who's there to bounce things off, but maybe not as involved in the day-to-day. I also think the president role used to be very different. It used to be, I'm talking about a president of hockey. The president used to be a lot of business stuff and a lot of other things. I think those jobs maybe need to be divided in some way.
I like now, and I think I've said this a few times on our show, I like the thought of these agents that have been around for 20 years, 25 years, that have really known the game inside and out, have watched their players almost like another parent, another brother, another family member. They're around these players more than their own families at certain points. And they can come in now and show that they can do a good job. Bill Zito's done it. Kent Hughes has done it in Montreal. I like
Jeff Jackson took over as the president of the Oilers.
I like the Gorton Kent Hughes combination. I like that.
What the
hockeyman?
The guy that's been around, the hockey guy, and an agent who's done negotiations.
The agents spend a lot of time thinking about player value, and that's a lot of what salary cap
So,
management is.
I like
whether they want to build a team or not.
I like a strong management group that, there's got to be some chemistry there.
I want a crunchy and chewy, like a chewy.
But sometimes the crunch has got to go and say too chewy. Okay, too chewy. Yeah. We need more crunch.
Totally.
And then the chewy guy goes, no, I want more chewy. And it's like, no, you got to have, these guys got to challenge each other. They got to look each other in the eye and say, I don't believe that. And this is why I'm telling you, don't give up Minton for Carlo. And if you don't have a management group that challenges each other, respects each other, kind of listen sometimes you got to say I'm wrong.
Yeah.
And if you have this one guy in there with all the power and everybody's all scared, hey, Sparky, can I get you coffee, Sparky? There's a lot of that on management teams.
Yes.
A lot.
Yeah.
Get rid of it.
Love it.
Okay, what a whew. Let's go to Yoda from Toronto.
Your show is more entertaining than the Leafs game. Now, if Leafs management wasn't so co-opted by business suit groupthink and protecting the bottom line, which is actually their own corporate behinds, they would realize the moment which is presenting itself to them. Trade Matthews when you can have your pick of a new nucleus. Now is the hour of salvation. He's not a captain who will take you to the promised land. All you ever needed to know about Matthews was illustrated as a kind of template going forward, if you will. In that first NHL game, you remember the one he played against the Senators. 4 goals, amazing, right? Our franchise player had arrived, establishing his Leafs legacy. And guess what? They lost the game.
Yoda.
That is a totally...
Kyle Turris in overtime.
Yeah, that is in... Kyle Turris, that's a remembering guy.
Yeah. Yep.
Funny
you want to start on Matthews?
Sure. I'll start on Matthews. You need to think about everything. There's no stone unturned. No one's exempt just for the sake of being exempt. I mean, I have said many times, it's hard to get the best 15 players in the league or wherever you have him. It's really, really hard. And there's no guarantee you get it back, and I don't like doing it. Yeah. So it would have to be very, very special.
Yoda, it's an inevitable conversation that will come another day. It won't come by next Friday. Conversations will start at the end of the season on Austin and his thoughts because they matter. And Leaf management and ownership would know that. And to Justin's point, if you want to get rid of him, how do you get someone back like that? You don't. It's too hard. I still have to sell season tickets. I still have to sell sponsor packages. I still want ratings. Austin can deliver those things outside of playoff round wins and a Stanley Cup. You still know he's got star appeal. So the conversation will inevitably be to Austin. Austin, what do you think? You want to stay here? You only have 2 years left on your deal. Do you envision yourself staying here? Do you want to finish what you started here the last 10 years? All of that will come, but it just won't come Friday.
I actually, one thing I meant to mention in our first block, think that the best sales pitch to Austin isn't done. He's not a UFA after next year. He has 2 more seasons of contract time. Yeah. I think your best case to keep him is to do this big sell-off and say, we're aware of our long-term future. This is not going to be, we've now got all this draft capital. We're going to try to do some things. I think it's a much easier sell than next year we're going to try again. How do you sell that? You need to have something different and a new plan, some hope for the future.
Let's go to Brandon from the Harbor.
I'm just calling in to start a petition that we should, change the Toronto Maple Leafs outfits into a black leather or black latex dominatrix outfit because we continually pay this team to kick us in the balls. And you know what? We get nothing out of it at the end. It's just repeated abuse over and over and over, and we keep throwing money to them. So you know what? They're not going to make any changes. We should make the change, make them dress the part, and go from there. Love you guys. Good job on the show. Peace.
You bunch of masochists.
I got nothing
out
on
there.
that one, Sammy. You take this solo, bud.
I forgot about that.
It is very funny. There's almost an element of Leafs fandom where you wear the pain like a badge of honor.
It looks like that badge ain't going anywhere.
No.
Let's go to one of our favorites, Monty from Nova Scotia.
Okay,
Monty.
where to start? Oh, I know where. Sammy, love you on this show, but hope you never become the Leafs GM. I agree that the changes need to happen with the team. Older players need to go. But McMahon, not in my opinion. A lot of really good players in this league at 33, 34 years old. That is 4 or 5 more years of 20 to 25 goals, fast as lightning, and a good forechecker. Besides, where are you going to find another like that for $4 million or so right now? We have given away so many good players over the years, it makes me sick to think of losing another one and watch him thrive elsewhere. And most likely, the pick you get will be higher than 20th. How many of these never pan out? Calm down just a little. We will have money to spend in the summer, and if we get lucky, 7.5 more from Riley's contract.
It's a great call.
I like that side of it because you don't hear that side of it very often. In response to that, I think that Leaf fans like Monty and myself are very scarred from certain guys leaving.
Okay.
Hyman, for example, is the one that sticks in everybody's craw, local guy that they decided to pay Kasha, Nick Ritchie, and Mrazek instead of keeping him. Like there's, the other guys that have walked out the door here when they, Ryan O'Reilly, all the stuff down the line, okay?
Connor Brown,
all the guys that have left. I don't necessarily put McMahon in that same conversation.
I guess
I think they've gotten the value out of him.
If I think he's a 25-goal guy for 4 or 5 more years, cool. I'm not as sure that that's going to happen.
Neither am I. Like
There's
just too many
a little
nights where he's-
disappointed in him last 2 games.
Well, maybe don't put him on the third line when you're
Right.
trying to trade him.
No,
Can you just leave him on the first line for a little bit?
Well, he's on the
first,
line
second, or
against
third
Tampa.
line?
Start.
He shows flashes for sure. It's
Here's what I'll
just
say with him.
Inconsistency, guys. That's
he
it.
doesn't seem to be able to do it on command. Like it just sort of, it's there some nights and he's not sure why. And when it's there, it's awesome.
Let's go to George from Scarborough.
Hi, guys. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. Bad decisions from day one with Shanahan. Picking Dubas over Lou or Mark Hunter. Picking Babcock. Signing Tavares upset the room's development. Making Matthews captain too early. Zach Hyman walking away. Emptying cupboards for old washed-up players. Caving into terrible, overpriced contracts with no moves. Draft and trading for small players. No goaltenders.
Yeah.
Good news is we shouldn't have to worry about first-round losses for years to come. Love the show. Chin up for what's coming next. Thanks.
So it took
Thanks,
us,
Georgie.
It took us, and we're still on it, 6 months to talk about that this season.
What?
And George just summed it up in 30 seconds.
It's very funny because from that list of things, you would never think this team won, 100-point seasons like 7 times, the 9 playoff runs in a row, couple of good victories in there. But yeah, it's so much of that is subjective, right? What you think was right and wrong, and not sure which decisions would have worked or wouldn't have.
Let's go to Justin from London.
This is Justin from London calling, which means Sammy isn't going to play this because he hates the Knights. My question is, do you think the Leafs are willing to take on a bad contract to get an asset? So definitely not getting on. Go Knights, go.
Justin, first of all, thanks for acknowledging Sammy.
The
It
only
was
reason I played
maybe
it is
the hardest decision he's made in 4.5 years on this show.
He did it, though. He did the right thing.
Some guy called in and left like a minute-long voicemail about this horrible trade that the Owen Sound Attack made and like how they know nothing about hockey and Owen Sound and like they're trolling me on there too. I can't escape.
The answer is I think it's hard to take a bad contract with multi-years. If you want to rent somebody out for the rest of the season, 100% that they would spend millions to create it into a first or second or third round pick. Yes, absolutely. Money is no object in terms of what they can do to get themselves better, which is ultimately assets.
Mangiapane has one more year at $3.6 million after this one. Last night he had a goal and an assist. You know, I don't know, any sort of retention.
Well, they didn't want him for switching him with Michelli.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
doesn't help you.
That doesn't help. So,
No.
What's the point of that?
Yeah, that doesn't help
Right?
you. No, like I'll just take him along with your pick
That would
for a high five.
Yeah, but Edmonton doesn't even. They don't have those type of assets now. Okay.
I mean, that would make both teams
Go
worse.
back to Mrazek. What did Mrazek cost the Leafs?
$3.5 million. Oh, to get rid of it?
Yes.
They had to move down in the draft. They went from a first rounder to a second rounder to do it.
It was expensive.
Yeah.
Incredibly expensive. Edmonton can't just throw away those type of top assets to get rid of that.
Well, they need it, bud.
That's what they're doing right now.
Yes.
Lumping it and liking it.
Hoping he figures it out.
All right.
I think Mangiapane's 29. Would have guessed 30.
I'll take a deep breath. Our thanks to everyone that called in on Sammy's Leaf line. Up next, Doug MacLean, former National Hockey League president, GM, head coach, and now our savior on a Friday afternoon.
Sure, he's got no thoughts in the last week.
Oh, boy.
More Real Kyper and Bourne when we return after these words. Off the Rails Friday. We go national on the Real Kyper and Bourne Show. We're live on Sportsnet 650 in Vancouver, 960 in Calgary, and streaming on Sportsnet Plus. Also available on Spotify, YouTube podcasts, and Apple. Give us a thumbs up on YouTube. We sure could use it. It's been a bit of a rough week.
That's all right. It's Friday afternoon.
And it's about to get rougher with Doug MacLean in a few minutes. Also, Sammy, what are we going to do at the end?
Text 590-590. And like I always say on Friday, I don't want Toronto text. I want texts from all over our fine nation. None from south of the border, only from Canada. No, we can have the States too. But text us 590-590.
Start a big thing. Sam said close the southern border.
I did.
I heard him say it.
I said it. I said it right now. National television.
I know a lot of questions the last 24 hours on the Edmonton Oilers, but they had no problem, I think, convincing people we're not going away quietly.
There's such an Oilers thing. Like, they're just stinky and they lose a big game the night before, and then they're playing a pivotal game against a team chasing them that could change the whole. And it's just like they just mop them up.
8-1.
See you later. Thanks for coming up. McDavid's skating around the rink like he's playing Pee-wees.
Faella that good that you got to lose like that?
No.
To the Edmonton Oilers?
Someone hit Kemper in the chest and it went through his ribs and in the net somehow. I have no idea how some of those goals went in against them. So
it kind of makes you wonder, like, was Panarin really what we needed?
Yeah, but they didn't trade anything for him, and he signed there for 2 years. It was not like the third and like a B.
I know,
prospect?
but it's not moving the needle. That's like you usually a Panarin is when you think you can get you over the top, not sneaking in
totally
the back door.
But they do seem to want to do something else, right? Like the Kings are probably not done, but they just can't win those games against the Oilers. End of story.
No, that's it.
When the stakes are high and it's Edmonton,
they're going to play
LA.
They're going to play either the LA Kings or the Seattle Kraken in the first round of the playoffs. And like I've said before in the show, they could beat those teams with Leon, Connor, and the Bakersfield Condors.
We got. I'm doing Hockey Central after this, and like one of the questions was like, which of these teams makes the playoffs? Anaheim, Seattle, and Utah. And it's just like, ugh. Just thinking about the Oilers, like they're all just chum to the Sharks.
Yeah.
I think Seattle had their rookie dinner. They had a party in Vegas.
Okay.
Just before, I think. And they can't get it back on the rails.
These guys don't party enough.
They had it before,
they're not
before
trained
when?
well enough.
Before when?
I think just before the break.
And they're still not back on the rails? They should ask Austin Matthews. He was flying the last 2 nights.
They've been on a big bender, maybe. I don't know.
What the?
I don't know, but there's a team. They have. You give them any hope at all because they're in that clump right now with Seattle and.
Yeah. I mean, yes, it's impossible to count them out. It's so weak at the bottom of that side. Right now, the Kings are 3 points out. Nashville is 2 points out. Seattle, Utah, Anaheim. Like, here you go. Here's a look at the West. I mean, my goodness. God, the Sharkies aren't done. Sharkies actually have the most games remaining there. Look out for the Celebrinis.
Who lost the Flames last night?
Hey, Sherwood hasn't signed there since they traded for him. What's up with that?
You got to think that something might be in the hopper, don't you?
Well, you would think when they trade for him, the plan is to have him be a part of what they're doing. Otherwise, you got to trade him in the next week?
Oh, gosh. I think you'd have some idea.
I would be saying I need to have ink on paper.
I don't anticipate. I haven't heard. I haven't really made any calls on it at all. I haven't heard, but I think it would be really ridiculous. What is he, ranting now?
Yeah, I know. Well, this is when you make a trade for a guy, though. The plan is to keep him. You would think.
Tyler Myers.
Yes.
Interesting scenario.
Detroit
there.
wants him. Sounds like Ristolainen's available too for them.
All right, let's welcome him in. It's Friday. Doug MacLean, NHL president, GM, head coach. Mac, how are you? How's your week? Fun watching the NHL come back to work?
No, I haven't really. I was so excited about the Olympics and how great the hockey was that I haven't really jumped back into it. I watched a little of your team play last night against the Panthers, and I thought I'd wear this pink shirt to brighten up your guys' lives because you sound so depressing. You sound like you just both. Well, when you add Sammy to the mix, it's a really depressing show. So I just thought I'd wear the pink shirt to liven you guys up a little bit and just try to make it. You can't look. I don't make enough money to come on this show and not have fun. And today I've got a sense that it's not going to be fun.
Listen, let's make it fun. Let's talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs. My goodness, everyone loves them.
I made one phone call last night.
Okay.
I phoned
to your lawyer.
I phoned a buddy of mine. I love coming on this show when Nick's really nervous about what I'm going to say. I love that. So anyway, I phoned a buddy of mine last night, and I said, Damien Cox keeps phoning he has a place in PEI and always wants to play golf with me in the summer. So I phoned my buddy, tell him not to phone me. I'm not playing golf with him. First of all, I hear he just throws his clubs and he's mad all the time on the course. And I just decided I'm not going to play with him. Okay. So I wanted to get that off my chest right off the bat. Okay.
Is that in relation to any recent thing?
Yeah, I'm not asking you about his article. I can assure you. Okay. No one cares about your opinion on his article.
I know. I'm really being careful. I don't want to say anything, but good grief. Let's analyze players about their games. Let's talk about their games. That's what we should analyze. But let's not get into this other foolishness. I'm sorry. I really am sorry. I listened to Brady Tkachuk yesterday. Matthews is coming in for a big game after winning the gold medal. I mean, look, it's to me, that's not what the Olympics are all about. It's not what hockey's all about. I'm really disappointed in the stuff I'm reading. I really am.
So, Mac, after the U.S. wins and they have the FBI director there and they go to the White House and whatever, did you expect people to just be like, hey, whatever? I guess, what were you looking for out of that has gone off the rails?
Look, they're American kids. They won the first gold medal in 46 years. They played their tails off. They played great hockey. Canada played great hockey. It was one of the best games I've had the pleasure of watching in a long time. Yeah, Canada should have won. I agree they should have won. They were the better team that day. Hellebuck was terrific. He was a star. No denying that. But all of a sudden, if you hate Trump, you hate Trump. That's fine. But why does that have to seep into all the articles? We know what everybody in Canada, or most of them, think about him. Lots of people down here think the same thing. But why are we letting that seep in and ruin what was a great Olympics, both on the women's side and the men's side, and skiing and everything? I mean, I sat here one afternoon and watched the luge races. I mean, it's a great experience. And why do we damper it with, so they go to the White House? It's a dream of lots of kids to get invited to the White House. They see the Stanley Cup champions there every year. And we have to write articles about it? Look, I just think we're letting it seep in, and I think it's unfair to the players. I really do. I think it's unfair to them. My own opinion, end of conversation.
Yeah.
I hope I didn't get you in trouble, Nick.
Hey, you're allowed. That's why
Mac.
we have you here, to have an opinion, Doug.
Hey, totally entitled to yours. Let me follow that up with, because there seems to be this feeling right now, and maybe it's built around American players in Canada, but there seems to be two sides. One that says that the media's too hard on them and they're driving them away. And then the others would say, no, it's up to the players, whether they want to play here. And we still got American baseball players like Max Scherzer, who wants to come back, and the taxes are the same, and they've got no problem coming to a Canadian market. So, but my question to you is, should Canadian teams be concerned about this perception that American players don't want to play here anymore because the media is too tough?
I'm going to say that I heard this from a very knowledgeable hockey person. I think the NHL has got to be concerned about it. I think the NHL has got to be very concerned about this issue, about the Canada-U.S. relations and situations. And because I watched Brady Tkachuk yesterday. The kid's got a chance to be a superstar. He's got a chance to be a great leader. I watch him. I watch what's going on with Matthews. I even watch what's going on with McDavid in a tough Canadian market. These are we watched Quinn leave Vancouver. The last thing we as a league need is a mass exodus of our best players wanting to play outside of Canada. I just think the league and the teams have got to be cognizant of it. And like I say, okay, Trump is the main issue right now, and lots of people hate him, but he's the president of the United States. Lots of people don't like Carney, but I respect him because he's the prime minister of Canada, I didn't say I respected Trump, but I'm just saying, we got to be careful that it doesn't seep into our game, and look, I didn't like what happened with the conversation in the dressing room, but Nick and Bonnie, we've all been in dressing rooms when you win. We know what the emotion's like in there. We know what the excitement's like in a phone call. When somebody phones to congratulate, do you really pay attention to what he's saying? Even if it's the president, you don't pay it. And now they're being ripped about that, about them laughing. I mean, look, to me, it's gotten way out of hand. That's all.
Listen, I think if all of us could strip it back to the 90s when politics were less involved in all this stuff, everyone would sign up for that. But I don't think we can ever go back to that. I think it's impossible. Yeah. I guess the question is, do you think that the league should actively try to do anything about, you're talking about this relationship, about making Canada more appealing, whether that's a tax regulation between the countries? Is there anything that they can physically do aside from just hang on till the next president?
I think it's probably going to work itself out, because once they get to a negotiating table, Canada and the U.S., and finish whatever they're fighting over for the last 12 months.
Oh, no.
I don't think he's ever frozen on our show, ever.
And I don't think he's ever been better, too. I'm dying right now.
And get a deal done. I worked in the U.S. for 30 years. What? I've lived in the U.S. for 35 years, and I'm a Canadian and a proud Canadian. So anyway, it'll get worked out.
Okay.
But I'd be concerned about it.
What needs to work out also, Mac, is more Canadian teams into the Stanley Cup playoffs here. Like, I've thrown this out there to the boys here on our show, but I'll throw it out to you. Like, how many teams are getting in the playoffs?
Well,
here in Canada.
On your show, I said I thought Ottawa and Toronto were dead even going into the start of the season. Dead even. And I looked last night, they're tied.
But not in a good way.
Yeah, I see.
But, I think right now, I mean, look, the Leafs aren't getting in. Ottawa's really in tough to get in. Columbus are coming on. They could get in. The Islanders, it's going to be between the Islanders, probably Islanders and the Blue Jackets to get the third spot in the Metropolitan, which is better. That may be easier than getting the wild card. So I think it's going to be, other than Edmonton, Montreal, that's really where we are, which is kind of frightening. And when you miss the playoffs, and I heard you talking about rebuild and retool and all this thing, Detroit have been 9 years out of the playoffs, guys, with Steve Yzerman as their GM. Mm-hmm. Okay, $5 million general manager, superstar player, one of the greatest captains in the history of the game. Did an amazing job in Tampa. He's been 9 years out of the playoffs in Detroit. Ottawa, what are they? They made it once in the last 8 years. Columbus, if they miss, will be 6 years out. Be careful when you say we're going to not kick it apart. You know how hard it is to build a winner in the NHL and to start a new culture, and there's a few teams that have a culture. London
Are the
Knights
Leafs
have
one?
The London Knights have a culture, okay? The New York Yankees have a culture. And I watched the other night about Vegas, okay? They're playing in a big game, coming back. They sat out their 5 Olympians. They said to the 5 Olympians, we want you. You guys are not playing tonight. We're bringing up guys from the American Hockey League. You guys are having the night off after your Olympic experience. Okay, that's Stone. That's Canadian players and U.S. players. Brought up 5 American Leaguers, and they scored 5 goals in the third period to beat Anaheim at home. They've got a culture in the NHL all of a sudden, the Vegas Golden Knights. Kelly McCrimmon and George McPhee have done an unbelievable job. The Yankees have a culture.
The Jays have a culture.
It's a lot easier to talk about it than it is to develop it. Let me tell you that. So Matthews, everybody wants him traded. Like, be careful, boys. I said it this time last year about Marner, and we all talked about it. You lose Marner, there's a very good chance you're not going to make the playoffs.
Oof.
And we talked about it on this show last year. Marner could cost them the playoffs. And whether you guys, Sammy definitely doesn't want to believe it. But what he's done to Nylander's game, what he's done to Matthews' game, what he's done to Morgan Riley's game, he's affected this team big time, the loss, because he does a lot of things those guys aren't capable of doing by themselves. And, so what's going to happen? Are they going to clean house? Who are they going to bring in? I keep hearing Doug Armstrong's going to could be the next GM. I mean, this is if you tear this apart, this is a long rebuild. And I've said it, players go to places. Number one reason they sign free agents is a chance to win the Stanley Cup. The number 2 reason is money. And the number 3 reason is location. Those are the 3 reasons why guys sign.
That would make the Tampa Bay
Where
Lightning
do you guys in that category?
Winning's fun.
Yeah,
winning
is where it's all about, and that's why guys want to sign with good teams.
How good? How good does the culture look in Tampa Bay right now?
Well, you know what? They're really shocking to me how they have maintained. First of all, I want sympathy to Coop losing his dad after an unbelievable coaching job at the Olympics, and you come home and your dad passes. And I just heard today, Chris Kontos, a former great with the Tampa Bay Lightning, and his dad died on the same day as Coop. So condolences to both those, Tampa Bay and a future former Tampa Bay guy, Chris Kontos, on his dad. So that's a tough situation. But look, the way they've maintained, the number of changes they've made to their team, and how they've maintained this culture there is right at the top of the NHL. Are they the best team in the NHL today? Them in Colorado? Probably. They'd be your favorite out of the East today, probably. Colorado out of the West, I guess. They've done a heck of a job. What have they gone through this year? 35 players?
Mac, I wanted to get your opinion on some of the other off-the-ice stuff, and I'm sorry to loop back, but I don't know if you saw this. I believe Quinn Hughes is going on Jimmy Fallon this weekend. I think
Saturday Night Live.
Saturday Night Live as well.
Quinn Hughes is going on Saturday Night
Quinn
Live.
or Jack?
Quinn.
Quinn is doing...
Well, maybe both of them are going on.
Yeah, there's SNL, there's Fallon. I know Pat McAfee had Jack Hughes on today. These guys are doing all this sort of media circuit. I think it's awesome. You talk about we're trying to grow the game, make it important in the U.S. I think it's a good thing. If you're the GM of a team and you got guys doing that midseason, does that bother you at all?
Not when the kids have won the Olympic gold medal for the first time in 46 years. I have no problem with it whatsoever. I think it's good for their organization. By the way, Nick and I coached in a prospects game in Toronto years ago, and it was for the OHL draft showcase. And I happened to be the coach of one team, and Nick was the coach of the other team. And I had a kid on my bench playing in the GTHL prospects game, and his name was Jack Hughes. And I remember leaving that game and talking to Nick after, going back home. This kid was unbelievable.
Dynamite.
Was he?
Dynamite.
Unbelievable how good he was. I remember marveling at him on the bench. And if I'm not mistaken, James Boyd drafted him number 1 pick for Mississauga, knowing he probably wasn't going to get him because he was going to go to the U.S. development program. But James Boyd drafted him. That's how good he was. He said, I'm taking him. I don't know if it was third overall in the OHL draft because he was that good. And I mean, he grew up. He grew up playing hockey in Canada. Both of them did. So that was just a little sidebar. I don't know if Nick remembered that. Nick was sort of.
I think he scored the game-winning goal because you were the coach of that game.
I think it happened because
Did you ever think of that?
In Canada, therefore we win.
You're going to take any credit?
I called a timeout in the last minute of the game, and I diagrammed a play for Jack to use.
Throw the ball to Jack in the end zone.
Now, if you ask Jack Hughes today about that game, he definitely wouldn't know who the hell I was or I was on the bench. Because, as I said, Nick was the star.
No, I lost, I think, that game.
Oh, yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. Yeah,
you reminded me for about a good
But anyway,
year
it was
and a
a
half.
good little Jack Hughes thing. No, I think it's great that these kids are going to be on these shows. I mean, it's big in the U.S. I go down to the pool here. I go to the beach, and that's all people want to talk to me about.
Right?
We had an event here at our place, and that's all anybody wanted to talk about. And you know what? To a person, and they're 90% Americans, to a person, they marvel about Canadian hockey. They really do. And you know,
if it was going to happen, it happened in a way that at least you can hold your head up, I think, as a country.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, I was devastated, like everybody, but it was great hockey. And I see Wayne Gretzky there. He's been labeled. I see Bobby Orr. He's been labeled. I mean, it's not safe to mention these guys' names in Canada right now. And it's like a joke. But anyway,
Mac, I want to ask you.
That's just my own opinion, and I'll be in trouble in PEI. I know that, but that's my feelings. You know, hockey is hockey.
We got the trade deadline coming up, Mac, and Tyler Myers has a complete no-move clause that goes to a partial one next season, but it really feels like Vancouver's leaning on him to leave now, to lift it now. We talked earlier in our Leaf Hour edition about Morgan Riley, who has a no move, and how the Leafs should think about asking him to lift if they already haven't already, or how hard they should push. What's your feelings on asking guys with that clause?
It's really awful because I had to do it, and that's when there was no movement. And I told you the Marchand story when I put him on waivers to make the deal happen. But it was a vicious thing to do. But you know what? You got sometimes when you're in hockey, you have to make really tough decisions. Okay. And I told you this story probably before, but I was coaching junior in PEI, and the trainer, and we had a big game on the road, and the trainer came out to me and said, our number one goalie, Robbie Bernard, forgot his skates at home. And I said, really? And Bruce, my backup, was not very good. And I went in to the dressing room, and Bruce was all fired up because I didn't play him very much. He was lacing up his skates. He was all excited about getting a chance to play. And I walked over to him and I said, Bruce, what size are your skates? And he said, size 9. I said, give them to Robbie. So sometimes you have to make tough decisions. So now
sometimes you got to ask guys to take their shoes off.
Bruce now works for Bell Canada, and I meet him in the summer, and I'm driving down the highway and I meet him head on in the Bell truck, and I'm like, oh, geez, I wonder if you remember he taking his skates. So anyway, look, it is tough decisions that have to be made, and Morgan Riley, you have to have the conversation for Morgan's sake and for the Leafs' sake. He needs a new place for sure. And look, we talked about Morgan since he came here. He was a great number 2-3 defenseman. He was never the number one guy that they thought he was going to be. And he's had a good career, and it's time for him to move on. And the problem is $7.5 million. You're going to have to eat a chunk of that to move him, in all likelihood.
Mac, behind me, we got this Oilers jersey. Last night, they hung a beating, full touchdown over the LA Kings. Connor McDavid, another great game. He's now had the Cup final losses and the Olympic loss, and I guess some junior losses. Do you feel sympathetic? Do you feel like he's responsible that these are going the wrong way, or is it just sometimes you're not on a good enough team?
Yeah, look, it happens. You're not on a good enough team. I mean, I guess we can think of all kinds of guys in our careers that, played on teams that weren't good enough. I think of Mike Gardner in Washington. Mm-hmm. What was Nick with us, a 50-goal scorer,
Yeah, one of the best.
One of the best right wingers in the game at the time, and over his long career, never won. It's really tough. And that's what makes me nervous when with this not a new CBA, it's been there, but when you've got 27, 28-year-olds becoming unrestricted, to lose them from a franchise, whether it's the Leafs with Matthews, whether it's Marner, whether it's McDavid, whoever it is, it's Quinn, Hughes. I mean, it's devastating to franchises. It's devastating. And it sets you back. So it's tough with this 7-year CBA situation to free agency. It's really tough. And, the Leafs, you can talk about all the plans you want to have. The big plan is, what's the Matthews plan? And how much time have you got to figure that out?
As far as the trade, yeah, he's just using
By
it
the
as
way,
a
I keep
hypothetical.
hearing the Vancouver kid is going to Detroit. Is that accurate? Sure you're on top of that.
The feeling is he turned it down.
Really?
Yeah. Myers, you're talking about Myers to Detroit?
Yeah. So he did turn out.
Well, I don't know. I'm just guessing that that's the general feeling that's out there right now. I haven't heard from a reliable source or anything.
Edmonton in on him, OEL, Ristolainen.
Hey, one question here.
It's like Ottawa. I mean, they desperately need a right-hand defenseman, and you hear names that are out there. And, Steve Staios, still a rookie GM. I mean, I'd like to see Steve Staios do something to try to give this team a chance.
Uyghur's name, Mac, has been tied to Ottawa, but it's too expensive.
I hear that's not happening.
Okay.
Now, like I tell you, I mean, I'm just telling you what I hear. I'm not telling you it's the truth.
Beautiful. I love that line. Okay, one more, and it's just it's a general manager question, and that is that no question, there's a ton of pressure on Tristan Jarry, and he didn't have a very good game the other night, and Knobloch completely called him out. And I'm just wondering now, is there room right now?
Did he take his skates from him?
It's an all-time move.
Is there room right now for the Edmonton Oilers to go, okay, can we possibly pivot and maybe look at another goalie, or is it too late? And earlier, Justin was talking about Morgan Riley and maybe asking him and whether or not the GMs were comfortable or not comfortable. Would a GM in general be comfortable to have made such a big move months earlier on their goalie to only admit that it was wrong and try to correct it again?
Well, when you are supposed to challenge for the Stanley Cup, you have to do whatever it takes. And I think you have to keep in mind one thing with respect to Edmonton. And again, I don't know if this is true, but I look at Coffey going back, and I know Coff pretty well. I know how good a hockey person he is and a solid coach. Don't anybody tell me that wasn't the owner saying, get Coffey back on the bench.
Yeah.
Nobody can tell me that's not. I don't care what 32 Thoughts have or the Sheet have or what you guys have. I'm telling you, and I don't know, but I guarantee you he had something to do with it.
Yeah.
So
I think they were told.
That puts Knobloch in a tough spot.
In the same conversation, he might have said, and you better get another goalie. So maybe I don't know,
So if they do shop, it's always coming from the top. That's what you're telling us.
100%. And anybody, hey, lots of times the GM will phone the owner. You always run it by the owner. You always do. But when it comes from up top down, your armpits get really moist. And it's not.
Looks like decision's been made. Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, thank you for brightening up our day with your pink shirt and your shoe story, skate story, and just terrific moistness in this segment.
That was terrible. I was thinking of the other night,
Terrible.
the Western Capitals and the PEI or Maritime Junior League just had their alumni game. And I had 3 or 4 of my players were playing in the alumni game. And I was thinking, I hope Bruce gets to start in that game. He wasn't there. But anyway, by the way, the Western Capitals, the Summerside team in the Maritime Junior League, are hosting the Centennial Cup. Is that what it's still called? Or what used to be the Royal Bank Cup, the Canadian Junior A Championships in Summerside.
Awesome.
So a little publicity.
Awesome
Guys,
stuff.
thanks a lot for having me on this great day. And if you run into Damien, tell him I ain't playing golf with him.
We will. We will for sure. Thanks for doing this, Mac.
Appreciate it, bud.
See you, boys.
That is the one, the only Doug MacLean.
Yeah, he didn't get where he is by pulling punches. He's a puncher.
What size are your feet? The guy thinks he's going in to play a game of his life.
That is truly.
What size are your feet?
Hey,
9?
Sometimes.
Yeah. Take your skates off and give them to the other goalie.
Give them to the good guy. That's great.
Just wanted to say, talk amongst yourselves for once.
Sammy, did we catch you off guard?
No, it was just really funny. It's really funny. It's game time presented by Bet365. Visit the app for latest odds. Must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. Only 4 games on tap tonight after a furious start to the NHL season, coming back from the break. Vegas in Washington to take on the Caps. Feels like every game's a big game right now for the Capitals. The Golden Knights playing the layup line Pacific, so they can lose as many as they want and they still make the playoffs, so they'll be fine. Buffalo in Florida to take on the Panthers. Good one there. I don't know what you guys saw from the Panthers last night, but that looks like a team to me that's capable of making a little run towards the last playoff spot.
It's funny. I think they tied with the Leafs in points right now, but Zito said some things like, we'll see how things go this week, and then we'll decide what we're doing. Like, he is saying basically if they win all their games till the deadline, we'll see.
When you've won 2 Lord Stanleys in a row, you get to make those decisions like that. Wild in Utah to take on the Mammoth. Wild are underdogs in that game, plus 115. Don't mind that number. They came off a big win last night against the Colorado Avalanche. And the last game tonight, Winnipeg in Anaheim to take on the Ducks. Ducks are minus 130 favorite in that game. And that was game time. Presented by Bet365. Visit the app for latest odds. Must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Please play responsibly.
All right. Just like that, first segment's over. Segment, by the way, brought to you by, as Sammy said,
Bet365.
Bet365. All right. Sammy, what do we got after the break?
Got a million.
A few texts.
We got a million texts already, but I got some more time. So if you want to send in the million and first text, please do. And reminder, not from Toronto, from somewhere else. About some other team.
You can be from Toronto.
But just about another team. Yeah.
Okay. Deep breath.
590.
And we're back after these words. As a reminder, this hour of Real Kyper and Bourne brought to you by Bet365. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee. God, we were just begging for NHL hockey, and now we're just begging for the weekend.
No.
What is up with that?
I never
thing?
know.
Do we need to buy you a new box?
I can't tell. I hear you fine because I'm sitting beside you.
Yep, there we go. Yeah, this has been a different week than usual. Did you guys, before we get to the text, I did cut a couple clips about Hiller and he got grilled pretty good last night, the Kings. There was a guy, I went and listened to the Kings post-game last night, and there's a guy going around every scrum being like, have you guys quit on the coach?
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's... So,
that was Kopitar's answer. I've not heard it.
Well, clip one, please, Derek. Anze Kopitar has the team
quit. The team quit on the coach?
No.
Whoa!
It's frustrating right now. We're not playing as a team. Not necessarily quitting on the coach. So you got to figure out from within here to and get this on the right track.
That's as calm as you can be. You get hit with an absolute grenade of a question. He's like,
It's a right hook. And
what was the because I'm tired, or the because I really got to think about it?
No.
Which one was it?
I think it's both. I think he's not, if he knew the answer right away, probably at it quicker. But at the same time, I think
that's ridiculous. Something like that.
Can I tell you what I think that is?
It wasn't ridiculous.
No.
That's a brother that's looking at the standings and knows where he's at. He's like, I got 20 till retirement, boys. I'm done.
Not getting caught up in this.
I've got 2 cups. I'm almost, how old is it? Like, he's played over 1,200 games.
He's been Catherine Zeta-Jones and entrapment with all those media lasers his whole career. Never been hit once. I ain't doing it with 20 games left, pal.
We gotta throw in a Kipper's Clipper on the follow-up.
Oh, Hiller?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's play clip 1 on his job security. Clip 1.
Jim, given your team's lack of response after last night, how concerned are you about your job security?
LA, tough market.
Well, my focus is trying to win on Saturday. So we sign up for this job. I think you're probably always concerned when you got a job in the coaching world. So that's just something that's always tucked away. But what overrides all of that is trying to get your team to win games.
That is
good answer.
Yeah, it was an excellent answer by Jim Hiller.
Yeah.
If you were in Toronto, though, definitely that would be like, oh my God, the Toronto media or whatever. It's just like, yeah,
that's so true.
You know, there's just people in the media.
There's
who
just
ask
one
questions.
of him and not like 100.
That's what
of
it
them.
is. There's one of him.
I mean, go to Philly and see how they act about the Eagles. You know,
Right.
Like go to Minnesota.
Yeah, but we're strictly hockey markets.
Sure. We're the hardest
It's nice that you get one question like that, and then it's like,
Any follow-ups? No.
No. We're done.
I do think Bailey the Lion's cute. Next question.
Yeah, that's a sick Rolex. Where'd she get it?
Bailey got a Rolex.
It was a Rolex.
Yeah, a Rolex.
Buddy, you signed at 11, Schmill. I'd be buying mascots Rolexes too.
Listen, Bailey can keep the watch. The guy underneath the costume doesn't.
No, it's for the guy. It's for the person in the costume.
No,
I love
it's for
Kip's point.
Bailey.
Bailey's the one
I
wearing
own
it.
Bailey.
Who's Bailey?
Bailey
Bailey's the
is
Kings
is
mascot.
the owner. The owners of Bailey are the owners of the LA Kings.
The guy in the mascot suit doesn't wear the jersey home.
The guy, nobody knows the guy underneath. He doesn't get to keep the watch.
He's not wearing 72. Bailey is. Make it a nice wide cuff.
I'm telling you.
Extendo band.
My one arm's just a little look.
It's 100% Bailey's watch.
But
that is not the guy.
When you take pictures, you don't even have to smile underneath. You know what I'm saying? It's just you just stand there.
In the
You're just a
bit.
body.
In the bit, Panarin goes, he has the box for him, and Bailey takes it, and he goes, is he going to talk? And they go, no. And he goes, okay.
Yeah.
Actually,
I just bought a Rolex, and I'm not getting a thank you.
Actually, this is a very niche story about a mascot, but me and my good buddy Chris Robinson from Owen Sound, we were at a Platers game at one point. We were idiot kids. And the hardest still I think I've ever laughed to this day is we were chasing around the mascot named Cubby, and we were just like pulling at its jersey or whatever. And he finally turned around and was like, get away from me! Through like his like smiling like mouth. And I've never laughed as hard as that in my life. So there you go. Shout out Chris if you're listening.
That guy
You'll
was
remember
making
it.
minimum wage.
Oh
He
yeah,
just ruined his night.
Two guys chasing him around. All right, Tex. Boys, love the show. Watch, listen every day. As a Sabres fan, it's been hell for years. Can't say I don't enjoy the Leafs situation. Thanks a lot, buddy. What do you guys honestly think about the Sabres, Bruce Midland?
About their what, sorry?
About the Sabres. Just what do you think about the Sabres?
You know, it's funny you say that. Go ahead. I actually was thinking about it today, and I was like, I don't think they're like a cup contender, a great threat. I don't think whatever. But there is a point where you have to give your fans something. They need to be emotional buyers at the deadline.
You're 100% right, and they will be.
You got to start creating a winning culture, get in the playoffs.
They're like Detroit, man. They're figuring out things right now.
They're keeping Alex Tuck. We need to figure it out and get in the playoffs here.
Yeah. I get it.
Decor's very
Tampa's
good.
looking good right now, but they'd be happy to get into a conference final.
Less picks than I thought they'd have.
Conference final. They heard you say that. It was like, oh,
No.
what does it even mean?
I know, and it's there for the taking. It
Less
is.
picks than I thought they would have.
Less picks.
Like, I mean, they have their picks. They have
Yeah.
first this year, next year. They have all their picks, but they don't have a second this year. They have a third, 2 fourths, 2 sixths. But for a team that sucked for this long, you thought they would be the team that's like accumulated a few picks to deal with. But
Yeah, they're gonna be aggressive, I think. this
Josh
week.
Norris needs to play in playoffs for them. They need him to be available.
you think they're going to be aggressive?
I do. Yep.
And you know what? Like, I don't know if this is crazy, but I'm happy for their fans. I mean,
absolutely.
they've sucked.
Buddy, there's a level where it goes from like rival fan base to like, oh God, throw him a bone.
And they got Tage Lemieux.
And you want to get to a point where you stop feeling that way.
What is it every time I hear you like say I'm happy for their fan base? It's like it's taken every ounce of energy in your body to do it.
Because I'm not really. That's why.
Right.
You want to know the truth?
I'm
not
lying.
I know.
I'm not
That's
really
my whole
happy.
point.
But
it's like it pains you to
It does.
say that.
It does. Good day, gentlemen. Jim from Ottawa. Hi, Jim from Ottawa. Can Ottawa trade for one of Toronto's goalies? With Ottawa's goaltending up in the air, is there a trade that could work out for each team?
Yep.
Sure. You want to throw us Greg? You want to throw us?
Oh my God!
I'm just telling you. Like, why do I want to give you a very good goalie of mine?
If it's Stolarz, you're getting off
What do
the
you?
contract.
Hey, what's in it for me? WIFM. What's in it for me?
Did you just come up with that?
I'm listening to WIFM. What's in it for me, my friend? That's what you got to ask if you want my goalie.
Fair enough.
I don't think it would ever happen. They don't make trades very often. Those two teams.
Not common.
I mean, the Habs traded Plekanec to the Leafs at one point, so I guess anything's possible. But
that looks strange.
It was very strange. Gents, do you think if the Flames went to the Bruins with Weegar for the 2 players minus the pick that they offered for Rasmus Anderson, then we could have a trade? Makes sense for both clubs. Paul from Calgary.
Sorry, if who went to the?
So, because that was the rumored trade was Anderson to the Bruins, right?
Okay.
I forget what the actual, but they're just saying if they had the same package for Mackenzie Weegar, if it would work.
The Jets, though, was the team?
No, it was the Bruins and Flames.
I know that was the rumored deal. Which team are we asking about doing it for here? Or you're just saying still?
Boston and
Still.
Calgary. Yeah,
Still.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sorry to confuse you.
I still don't understand. You answer.
No.
Weegar would be worth more.
I
no,
follow now.
No,
Less.
Anderson.
You think?
Anderson was worth more valuable. I don't think you get 2 firsts for Weegar.
The reason Weegar's not as valuable is people don't like the term, I don't think, right?
Actually, the number's very attractive.
It's
6.5.
Yeah,
But it's a lot of years.
There's a lot of years. It's an attractive. He's an attractive player to help you win now, for sure. He's just not going to fetch you what I think Anderson fetched you. I could be totally wrong, but not a chance.
Yeah. So
it's 2 first-rounders for Mackenzie Weegar.
So Weegar's 32 and he's under contract till 2031, which takes us to 37. The number's just so good. It's not bad. 6.25.
He's a first rounder and
yeah.
I don't know. B prospect, A minus prospect.
He's having
maybe
like teams aren't going to look at this season and think that's Mackenzie Weegar.
No. He's battling a little bit this year.
Still got value.
The Flames sure have a lot of picks in the first 3 rounds in the next 3 years.
Good. That's what they need.
Yeah.
They need to get even worse so they can try to get McKenna. Although, did you guys see that? Did you see our boy Dollywall with Bruff and
yes, I didn't see it, but you mentioned it.
Yeah, he said that they were that they value Stenberg over McKenna right now.
So the Swedish guy
Yeah.
over the Canadian guy is
Yeah.
your point, that
Yeah.
you're worried that they're going to sweet it up. There's like talk right now about like, did the Canucks have enough Canadians, which
Yeah.
Doug MacLean has been talking about on our show for 2 years.
Jim Rutherford went on with John Shannon on his podcast and said that like we would like to have more Canadians.
But he also said that we want the best player.
Yeah.
So if one guy's going to be better. Is McKenna going to be better? Yeah. McKenna coming off an arrest and all that drama and hanging 10 points on a team in 2 games.
And then doing
was
the Conor McDavid, or not Conor, the Conor McGregor walk.
billionaire
Yeah.
strut was the ultimate, like, I don't care.
Yeah, I want that one.
Yeah. Like, that guy is not afraid of attention.
Some attitude. I know a few teams that could use some attitude.
Mike in Alberta, is Pittsburgh going to keep Skinner? If he had a cup in one of those runs, he'd be looked at just like Binnington. Who cares about the stats? He's a winner. Could he be traded? Carolina, or will Dubas sign him?
I do think he could get traded.
Skinner?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
God, they would really be trying to maximize what they got for Tristan Jarry, eh?
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Carolina
I
doesn't
don't
make
know.
sense.
You know what? I don't
He's an
know.
easy
I don't know what it
sell
does to Sid and
I mean, Sid's not there for 4 more weeks.
but it doesn't matter. Sid wants to come back to something too, right? So,
Someone's going to blow you out of the water.
There's some value in Skinner for sure.
I had someone ask me, hey, Kip's been talking a lot about Bobrovsky lately.
Yeah.
How
Not yet.
likely-
Not
no,
yet.
Not deadline.
God, he looked
Not
good last
yet.
night.
The thing, he could be Bennington where he's got an 860 this year, and it's like you just know that he can be better than that.
Okay. First of all, he's a Hall of Famer.
First ballot.
He's like a statue. There's going to be a statue in front of the building with him.
No, they won't.
No?
No, they don't even.
Okay, who?
They'll be like, who is that? They'll go into the rink and they'll see his
Okay,
statue.
don't
Like, who is that?
disrespect our Florida
Oh,
fans.
I will. I mean, I don't know if you saw the crowd last
Is he
night.
statue? We put a statue
I
on?
think he's statue worthy
Okay.
in terms of what he's done for.
My point is,
yeah, for sure.
They want him back. Okay. And are you going to make him now go play somewhere for like 2 months?
Yeah.
And then try to kind of have him come back, or do you just ship him off completely?
But I am curious how much he's willing to be like, I want to be here. You guys want me here. Let's just do this thing for, $6 million for 3 years or something.
Yeah, it's not $6 million.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, or he'll be Panarin, who's like,
Oh, that's the $1 million question. Is he going to price himself right out?
Because at some point you do have to be ruthless.
You're loving life. You're going to practice in a golf cart.
Totally.
It's 82 degrees. Tee off times. Come on.
Austin Matthews
Where's
is
he
on the way.
going? Where's Bobrovsky?
I sent
wanna
you guys
go?
the clip of Bill Zito's wink at Austin Matthews at the pregame ceremony yesterday.
And
Like,
you're
they had some
and you
real
said- and
conversations.
You said to me, you're like, tweet it, Sammy. Do it. I'm like, I'm not doing this.
I'm not doing this, Sam. You share it.
Last one, Mick from Sparwood. What are the chances the Calgary Flames move more than 3 players before the deadline? Probably good, right?
Good.
Kadri, Coleman.
Yeah, there'll be
Uyghur?
somebody else. Uyghur's tough.
Tough?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
That's a summer one. That's at the draft, the imaginary draft trade.
What about White Cloud? They just traded for him.
I don't think they want. I don't think ownership was ever in favor of a fire sale in Calgary. So they got a couple players that they can move, and can it turn to 3? I think it can turn to 3.
If you trade Kadri and Anderson and Coleman, that was all the firewood you had. Yeah. The fire has been sold at that point. But I will say,
The flame is out.
I am really looking forward to the Flames in a new arena, coming on, turning this thing around, right? Like you get a couple of picks, you use some of the picks on a player.
They just need McKenna.
They do.
They need the
McKenna
top.
be awesome.
They need the top dog.
I love a top dog in Calgary.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, Verhoff would be nice, but it's never as sexy as the guy who shoots it in a bunch.
No. And like you have to wait way longer in defensemen. Like it's just never quite as sexy.
And like who's
unless it's
the
Schaefer, who just shot 2 more in the net last
Calgary
night. to tie the
Flames? Like have had Jerome McGinley.
Yep.
Who else has been?
Well, I mean, earlier, it was Lanny. Lanny's pretty good.
But like other than that, is Marty Jelena. Like what am I doing? I'm trying to think of like
Marty,
great offensive.
Kiprasov was a fantastic goalie, and people are like, oh, that Kiprasov. People say that to me all the time when they're talking about Kipper.
That Nick
Oh, I've
Kypreos.
had
that
Kiprasov.
I had that a ton when he was playing.
Is that right?
Yeah, a ton. And then he
You ever hear
retired.
from
I'm
Nick
like, now I'm
Kypreos from the tennis tour? Never reached out to us?
No, nobody.
Kypreos, the tennis player?
He didn't want to follow up on whether or not that was a penalty or not.
He didn't have an opinion on that?
No, he didn't have an opinion
From what
on
I've
that.
seen of that guy, I think you're probably good not being besties with him. I think you're okay.
We got a text here. No, let's not do it. We got no time. The
Let's
music's
not
playing.
do it,
Music's
coward.
playing.
All right. For all of those that text in and called on our Leaf line in our first hour, and of course, Doug MacLean, thank you very much. Once again, if you can give us a thumbs up on our YouTube.
Matt, can come golf with us this summer?
You don't want to see his game.
I would be honored,
Hey.
Matt.
I golfed with him like a week and a half ago. 2 best balls he hit all day was when he stepped on the rake.
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
All right.
Dominatrix
Get me
talk
out of
here.
here. A lot
of talk tonight on our show today about
black
that.
leather talk.
All right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. If you get a chance, give us a rating and review. We'd love to hear from you. Have a great weekend, everybody.